Hello friends, today's video is to introduce punctuations to young learners. I'll cover how to teach full stop, capital letters and question marks in a simple and easy way. Welcome back to Happiness Mantra. Do remember to like the video and share your views in the comments. If you're new to my channel, then do remember to subscribe for more such videos. So let's start with the concept of punctuations. Early learners need to learn three basic punctuations: full stop, capital letters, and the question mark. Now, a simple sentence always ends with a full stop, which is basically a dot like this, a full stop. Examples would be: she is playing, the lion lives in a den, Ritu is my best friend, that boy loves to read, there are many flowers in the garden. Now all these are complete sentences, and so they need to end with full stops. The next concept is that of a capital letter. Now there are three basic rules which children need to know here. Remember, this video is for 5 to 6 year olds, children who are just understanding the language and learning punctuations. There are many more rules for the older children. So the first rule that they need to know is that every sentence, remember, every sentence begins with a capital letter. Anything and everything which is a sentence has to have a capital letter in the beginning. Ram wrote very neatly, so R capital. My mother, M capital. Very, very important. Every sentence has to begin with a capital letter. Get children in this habit as early as possible to avoid problems in the future. The next rule is that the word I is always written with a capital letter anywhere in the sentence. Remember, it is not for words beginning with I or E. It is the word I in itself. For example, I have many friends. Here, of course, it's in the beginning of a sentence, so it has to be capital. But Susan and I are going to the zoo. In the middle of the sentence, but I is capital. The teacher scolded me as I forgot to do my homework. Again, I, anywhere in the sentence, has to be written with a capital letter. The third rule. Now here the concept of nouns is important. If a child is young, they need to be taught that, and then they can apply this rule. So young children initially might make mistakes in this particular concept. But the other two, make sure that they do it right from the beginning. The sentence here is Jason and Joey are friends. Now since these are names of two boys, both would start with a capital letter. I went to Agra to see the Taj Mahal. I, beginning rule or the I rule, Agra is a place and Taj Mahal is the name of a monument. Okay, so both these being proper nouns start with the capital letter. Similarly, the boys study in Happy Days School. So since this is the name of their school, it starts with a capital H and a capital D. I plan to visit Singapore during the holidays. Again, the name of a place, therefore with a capital S or an S. Okay, so remember, this concept is something that children will pick up once they know what is a proper noun. So initially, you can help them a little, give them practice. I'll be sharing some worksheets in the end on how to make children more comfortable with this concept. But remember, the first two concepts where they have to use a capital I at every place and start the sentence with capital letters need to be enforced right from the beginning. The next topic is about the question mark. Now, question marks are used when we ask a question. And the sentence in that particular case, if it is a question, it'll end with a question mark, not a full stop. Okay? So when we ask a question, the sentence ends with a question mark, which is this kind of mark. First, you can make children practice writing it. I found that really useful. So how I teach is a reverse C, a standing line, and a dot. Okay, this is easier for children to understand. Once they know how to form it, it becomes easy for them to use it, of course. So the first case here is most commonly sentences beginning with the were words. The WH words are questions. What, when, where, which, why, who, whose. You can actually make children learn these and also use it as a concept that if it is a WH word, it will be a question word. The sentence will be ending with a question mark, not a full stop, if it begins with a WH word. Okay, and specifically these words. The children can learn these words. Next case. How is also a question word. How. Okay, so although it begins with an H, it is a question word. Examples: what is your name? How are you? Whose book is this? Why are you crying? Okay, and many more sentences. Of course, you can use as many sentences as you want to explain the concept to them. These are just simple examples. I've taken the simplest possible sentences because these are something children would have heard many times, and they know it is a question and they know it requires an answer. So anything that is a question requires an answer. So if they hear a sentence and they feel that they need to answer it, it is a question. One very important thing here is this particular rule now. A question is formed by putting a helping verb before the subject. Now here it's a little complicated because the children might not know what is a helping verb, what is a subject, right? So simply speaking, helping verbs are the smaller verbs which make up a sentence. You can give them some examples like is, am, are, was, were, has, have, can, and many more. So certain words like these are helping verbs. Okay, so now if they come in a sentence, for example, Amy is a good girl. To convert it into a question, we just need to exchange these two. We put is first and then the person. Okay, so is Amy a good girl? Simple. Once the children understand it, they will know what it is. So rather than explaining it separately, you can just give them examples and make them practice a worksheet like this for them to be more comfortable with the concept. Now we have Ravi has come home. So has is the helping verb here. We can just do has Ravi come home, and this is again a question, right? For the first time, if they're solving a worksheet, you can even underline the helping verb to make the idea easier for them. If after explaining you feel that the child has picked it up, avoid this particular step. Otherwise, add it. It completely depends on how comfortable your child is. Our idea here is to make sure that the child is picking up the concept comfortably, not being forced to study and finding studies fun. So in this case, it will be, was it raining yesterday? Can you take this book? Both turning into questions. Now, like I mentioned, here are some worksheets that we would do with the children. The first being add a question mark or a full stop. Simple. I love my parents. It's a sentence. How old are you? Starting with how. So it's a question mark. Where did you go? Again, starting with where. So it's a question mark. I share my toys. Simple sentence. My dress is long. Simple sentence. Circle all question words. So if you'll notice, most of the words here are starting with were. The children need to be able to identify the difference. So they'll do what, where, Why? Now remember, this is a WH word, a whale, but it is not a question word. Okay? I put it here intentionally so that the children read the words and are able to circle the correct ones only. So which, whose, wipe, no, whole again, no, how, yes, when, yes. So of course, since they're being asked to circle it, they would be circling it rather than underlining, okay? Something which the children will need to do. Finally, this is the worksheet that they are expected to do in school. Rewrite sentences with capital letter, put a full stop or question mark as needed. So they need to know all the three punctuations, the capital letter, the full stop, and the question mark to attempt a worksheet like this. Rani has a pet kitten. Simply speaking, the first rule, this has to start with a capital. It is a proper noun also, but even if the child is not aware, first word. Has a pet kitten. Now we know it's a simple sentence. We've put a full stop at the end. Have you seen my new dress? Remember, in case of a simple sentence, it would have started with you. Since it started with have, these have been exchanged. Remember that rule? And have you seen my new dress becomes a question. Granny lives in New York. Now, names of places are definitely something that the children know as proper nouns. So this would be capital again, and of course this. Granny lives in New York, right? And it is a simple sentence. Similarly, they can complete the rest of the worksheets. Happy learning, happy teaching.